Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1984 film Gremlins. Now, starring Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, and Hoyt Axton. Of course, I should also mention Key Luke was also in this movie. Now, previously I have discussed, I previously discussed both Gremlins movies in one video. I did that video about 4 years ago, and I figured that I've done other videos to do individual reviews of certain movies, particularly a movie series, to expand my video playlist. So I figured do one on Gremlins, because it's also the 35th anniversary of that movie this year in 2019, or it's left of 2019, since we know in November. So I figured I recently rewatched this movie over the weekend, so I figured do a reboot review of Gremlins. Of course, Gremlins, when it came out in 1984, actually saw a trend of these little monsters doing havoc, or running havoc in a small town. There's also Critters, there's also the movie Leprechaun, the Leprechaun movie series, and of course in 1990 there was a sequel to Gremlins, because Gremlins 2, the new batch. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We're just focusing on the original movie Gremlins, which, of course, like I said, came out in 1984. Of course, this movie is kind of like the anti-Christmas movie. What I mean by that is that this movie, even though it came out during the summer of 1984, was also a Christmas film. It's based at Christmas. It's kind of like with the first Lethal Weapon movie, which came out like a couple years later, and of course the first Die Hard movie, which is set at Christmas time, even though they were both action films. There's the same thing for this one, but it's more like a horror action film. Gremlins is. It's also been produced by Steven Spielberg, so of course his production team was behind, even though Spielberg didn't actually direct this film, but his production company and his production company ILM, I guess his friend George Lucas was involved with, even though the only thing George Lucas had to do with was with the effects of the animatronics of the Gremlins themselves. Well, I know I was going a long opening here, but for the movie itself, Hoyt Axton plays this loser inventor. I mean, what I mean by loser inventor is that he's supposed to be an inventor, but every time his inventions don't really work that well. So he's trying to make a name for himself as an inventor, and whatever product he comes up with, like a bathroom buddy, and you have a shaving kit in there, and the shaving cream goes all over the place, and doesn't work right. So he's trying to make a name for himself. He's going through Chinatown, and because the place was like New York City. Goes through Chinatown and runs up this little shop, and it's kind of like his junk dealer. It was run by Key Luke. Well, of course, I think he was famously played Charlie Chan, I believe, in the Charlie Chan mystery movies back in the 40s and the 50s or something. And he comes across this little creature that this old Chinese man was selling in a store, had in his store, and he goes, "I'm sorry, but it's not for sale." He said, "Oh, I want to buy it. I said, pay you any amount." And he buys this creature called Mogwai, which Hoyt Axton's character gave a name called Gizmo, because they like the name because creature like the name Gizmo, so they call him Gizmo. And of course, he says, "Oh, owning a Mogwai is you'll be very responsible to do it." And of course, they came up with these rules, which, the second one, if I ever get a chance to watch the second movie, will be parodying the second film. And the rules, of course, are can't feed after you can never get it wet. For some reason, you can never get it wet. You can't even wash, to give the creature and Gizmo a bath, because something will happen. We don't know what. It doesn't like bright light. and sunlight, and particularly sunlight, because sunlight will kill him. Okay? And of course, most importantly of all, you cannot feed him after midnight. This is of course a joke line, which will be parodied in the second movie. Like I said, if and when I have time this week to watch the second movie, I would watch it again and do a review on it. And of course, when somebody tells another character in a horror movie like this, these rules, these rules are going to be broken. you know, otherwise you're not going to have 30 minutes of a movie if they pay attention to all the rules. You know that. You know these rules are going to be broken. Which of course is eventually what happens. Now, of course, I should also mention that Corey Feldman, of course, later on was in the movie like The Goonies and Lost Boys, comes in this movie. I think it was one of his first movie roles. I think he did one of Friday the 13th movies before he did this one. But I think this was one of his first, the first movie he ever appeared in. A year before he did The Goonies, he was in Gremlins, and he was the one who actually got Gizmo wet because he was visiting Billy, who was his son. So he's a pet, and the mother wanted to take a picture of Gizmo, and the flash goes off on the camera, and of course, oh, bright light, bright light, bright light, and starts screaming about it. And then of course the father tells him the rules that the old Chinese man told him, and of course a little bit later on after that, Gizmo got wet, and he starts multiplying. He all of a sudden he starts multiplying like that, and about 5 other mogwais, or soon to be gremlins, came out of his back, literally, and which is really a spooky, disturbing scene. I don't think it was 13 yet when I first saw this movie, so it was pretty gruesome to see something like that, because actually I have never seen a movie like that before. So he starts producing, and of course the 5 gremlins. When that happens, Gizmo got all kinds of scared silly, because he knows that he's like the good gremlin, and the other 5 are the bad ones, and trying to do everything they can to transform into the killer, warm and fuzzy characters to the evil gremlins, which is what's going to happen, folks. Because what one of them did, and one of them was named Stripe because he had like a stripe, like kind of like a mohawk hair going over his head. He somehow tricks Billy into feeding him and the other friends after midnight. And I'm going to say how he tricks him, but he does end up tricking him. Because Billy's looking at the time on the clock, goes, oh, it's 7 o'clock with him, but meanwhile, it was actually, the clock was broken. Okay, what the hell? Spoiler. Stripe disables the clock. So all the other gremlins knew it was after midnight, so it tricks Billy to feed him. Gizmo didn't eat anything, so that's why he never changed. And of course, all the gremlins transform into his little cocoons, and then by the morning they're all hatched, and it turns into this evil, demented, stereotypical gremlins you might see in kind of like in that classic Bugs Bunny cartoon. You know, Bugs was fighting the gremlin. That's what happened. That's what they didn't look that cute. In the Bugs Bunny cartoon, that was cute, that little gremlin. But these things were like ugly, disturbing, crazy, and constantly putting all kinds of. It was really mostly pranks, but eventually they started killing people or hurting people in the town. One was played by Polly Holiday, of course, most famously played Flo in the TV show Alice, and it was played Jill's mother in the Home Improvement television series. She gets killed by the Gremlins. And I'm gonna say why, but they end up killing. It's like the first victim. You see her feet sticking up in the snow. It's kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West, and she was kind of like the Wicked Witch of this town. I'm not gonna say how, but she was. She was like real mean, crotchety old lady, and she was the one who gets killed by the Gremlins first. And of course, and the Gremlins all run havoc. They all throwing, wrecking houses, wrecking the local bar that was the tavern, And of course, this one infamous gremlin was like a flasher. Of course, a flasher guy, it was a guy who wears like a long trench coat, wears absolutely nothing underneath. He might wear like socks or shoes, pretending he's wearing something, and all he does is open up the coat, and it's absolutely naked. And that's what this gremlin did, even though he had no male body parts, as we know, male body parts. But he just open up the coat, goes like that. I mean, it was really, really funny. It was. I mean, it wasn't meant to be, scary. It's meant to be more like a comedy, a spoof of all, those types of things. And the Gremlins trash the bar, and Phoebe Cates works in the bar. And it had to be the girlfriend of Billy in the movie, the Zach Gallagher character, and. Excuse me, my phone's going off. I'm trying to call. Sorry about that. My phone going off. I always get interruptions in my videos. It's fucking annoying. So, excuse my language. And so, what Billy decided to do was to try and find out where all the gremlins were at to kill them. And they found out that all the gremlins, Stripe in particular, goes to the local YMCA because they have a pool in there, so he can reproduce more. And he kept reproducing. And they try to find out where all the gremlins are at, and they found out that they were all hiding out in the local movie theater, because at least it's dark in there. And they were playing the movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So all the gremlins were going crazy, going with the going hi ho, it's off to work we go. The song in Snow White. And so, I mean, it's funny because this movie was produced by Warner Brothers, and they have a Disney cartoon in this movie, which I'm surprised that Disney will allow them to give permission to show a clip or a couple clips from Snow White. Anyway. So Billy and Phoebe Cates' character, I forgot, Kate, that was her name, Kate, decided to kill all the gremlins in the movie theater by setting off the gas valve and blowing it up, which is what they did. Now, all the gremlins got killed from the gas blast except for one, and that was Stripe. Because Stripe got out to go to a candy store across the street from where the movie theater was, so he was safe. So he decides to hide out in a department store. And so Billy, Kate, and Gizmo, they're all going trying to get Spike, and Stripe. Stripe ends up found out that they had a fountain in the department store, the type where you could throw a coin in there and make a wish and stuff. So he goes in there to get wet so he can reproduce again. And meanwhile, when that happens, they open up, or Gizmo does, ends up opening up the skylight, and the sun was just coming up. So the sunlight came into that where their fountain was, and so Stripe got exposed to sunlight and dies. And it was pretty gruesome scene. And of course he dies. Big surprise, turns into dust, literally. And of course when all the shit came down, Key Luke, who originally owned Gizmo, came back and took Gizmo because they said, "Oh, you're not ready yet to have the responsibility to own a Mogwai." So then he walks away, out of the house, kind of like in the end, kind of like The Exorcist in a way. I think it's kind of like a homage to The Exorcist, because he walked like The Exorcist, the big long coat and the hat, and carrying Gizmo in a box, and it was pretty damn, it was good. It did kind of end almost like a cliffhanger in a way, because who knows, maybe there will be raised someday, and maybe someday they get Gizmo back, which in a way happens in the second movie, which I'm not going to review in this video, but I say Gremlins was a pretty damn good movie and did make a few dollars, the box office when it came out way back in 1984. But of course, that year also had Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Star Trek 3. You also had Ghostbusters came out that same year as well. So it was a big year for horror films in a way. Of course, if you consider Ghostbusters a horror film, even though technically it's a comedy, and so is this one. Even though this one plays more of a horror comedy, they upped up the horror a little bit more in Gremlins than in Ghostbusters. But like I said, there's a pretty scary disturbing scenes, especially one with the science teacher and one of the evil gremlins who turned on him and killed the science teacher. I guess it also has a stereotypical scene with the black guy getting it first, because the science teacher was black and he got it first, and to have that happen to him, and to have him to get it first, and then of course you had the scene in the house where the mother gets attacked, or Billy's mother gets attacked by the gremlins in the house, and one of them she stabs him in the blender and turns the blender on and it goes into 1,000 pieces. And another gremlin, she shoves it to a microwave oven and blows them up in the microwave. Those scenes were actually very, very disturbing for a 12, soon to be 13-year-old kid like I was at the time to see that stuff. But it was, pretty scary. It was kind of scary at that point. But I knew at that time I was like 12 years old. I know there's only a movie, and not to take it, seriously. But it was good. I mean, Gremlins is a good movie. It's still, to me, it still holds up today. Even though it's a horror movie, it's after Halloween now, so I'm doing this review after Halloween 2019. But I still think it's still a movie that holds up today, even though most kids today, that's scared because they've seen so many of those type of movies that came out after Gremlins, like I mentioned earlier. But the movie is, it is good. It is what it is, and I still recommend people to watch it, and I will still watch it to this day because it was good, because I liked it. And I also like the Flash of Gremlin because it's funny. And that Gremlin does make a reappearance in the second movie. I remember he made an appearance in the second film, but it is good. It still holds today. So that's my review of the movie Gremlins. Please click on the video. Please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel, rallyc.com. That's all WDY, then C.com. On our homepage, we have a review of Christine Moore. And please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.